Have you ever looked at your bank account and asked yourself, where did all my money go? You work, you get paid, you try to be responsible. Yet somehow, by the end of the month, you're broke again. The paycheck arrives. For a few days, everything feels fine. Then, the bills come. The expenses pile up, and before you know it, you're counting the days until your next paycheck. The worst part? You start believing this is normal. You start believing that being broke is simply part of life. But what if it isn't? What if the real reason you're always broke has nothing to do with bad luck? What if it's something much deeper? Today we're going to uncover the real reasons why so many people stay broke for years and what they can do about it. Hashtag being broke isn't always about income. Most people assume they are broke because they don't make enough money. And sometimes that's true. There are people struggling because wages are low and costs are high. But there is another reality that many people ignore. There are people earning good salaries who are also broke. People making more money than ever before. Yet somehow they still feel financially trapped. Why? Because income is only one side of the equation. What matters just as much is what happens after the money arrives. Many people focus entirely on earning. Very few focus on keeping. And that difference changes everything. Hashtag you spend without realizing it. One of the biggest reasons people stay broke is because they underestimate small spending. Most people think financial problems come from major purchases. A car, a vacation, a luxury item. But often the real damage comes from small decisions repeated every day. Coffee, food delivery, subscriptions, impulse purchases, online shopping. None of these seem dangerous individually. But together they create a financial leak. Imagine a bucket with a small hole. The hole doesn't seem serious. But over time, the entire bucket empties. That is exactly how money disappears. Not through one big mistake, but through hundreds of small ones. Hashtag you're living for today. One of the most common financial habits is prioritizing today over tomorrow. People buy things because they want immediate happiness, immediate comfort, immediate excitement. And companies know this. Every advertisement is designed to make you think about today. Not next, not 10 years from now. Today, that is why so many people struggle to save. Because saving requires sacrifice. Investing requires patience. Wealth requires long-term thinking. But the human brain naturally wants immediate rewards. The people who build wealth learn to delay gratification. Most people never do. Hashtag the lifestyle inflation trap. Let's imagine you receive a raise tomorrow. What happens next? For many people, the answer is predictable. A nicer car, a better phone, more expensive habits, a bigger apartment. Lifestyle inflation is one of the biggest reasons people remain broke despite earning more. Every time income increases, spending increases too. As a result, nothing changes. The paycheck grows, the lifestyle grows, but wealth never grows. This is why some people earn twice as much as they did 5 years ago and still feel financially stressed. Because earning more money doesn't automatically create wealth. Keeping more money does. Hashtag debt is quietly stealing your future. Many people don't realize how much debt affects their lives. Credit cards. Loans, monthly payments. Buy now, pay later programs. At first, debt feels helpful. It allows you to have things immediately. But eventually those payments become chains. Part of every future paycheck is already promised to someone else. The more debt you carry, the less freedom you have. And many people spend years working hard only to pay for decisions they made years ago. Debt doesn't just take money. It takes opportunity. Because money going toward debt cannot go toward wealth. Hashtag nobody taught you how money works. Think about how many years you spent in school. Now ask yourself, how many classes taught you how to build wealth? How many explained investing, assets, cash flow, financial freedom? For most people, The answer is none. Schools teach people how to earn money, but rarely how to grow it. As a result, millions of people enter adulthood financially unprepared. They know how to work, but they don't know how wealth works. And when you don't understand the rules of money, it becomes very easy to stay broke without realizing why. Hashtag, "You're trying to look rich." This is one of the most dangerous financial mistakes. Many people spend money trying to look successful. Luxury brands, expensive phones, designer clothing, fancy cars. Not because they truly need them, but because they want others to see them a certain way. Social media has made this problem even worse. People compare their real lives to someone else's highlight reel, and then they spend money trying to keep up. The irony is that many truly wealthy people don't look wealthy at all. Because rich people often focus on ownership. Poor people often focus on appearances. One builds wealth, the other destroys it. Hashtag, "You're not building assets." This is where the biggest difference exists between broke people and wealthy people. Most people work for money. Wealthy people own things that make money. Businesses, investments, real estate, assets. Every asset acts like a small employee. It works even when you're sleeping. It continues producing value long after you buy it. Most people spend years buying liabilities, things that take money away. Wealthy people spend years buying assets, things that bring money in, and over time, that difference becomes enormous. Hashtag, "Why rich people seem to get ahead faster." This is where many people become frustrated. They see wealthy people getting richer, and they wonder why. The answer is simple. Money creates opportunities. Assets create income. Income buys more assets, and the cycle repeats. Once someone enters this cycle, wealth begins growing faster, not because they're lucky, but because they've built systems that work on their behalf. Meanwhile, people without assets remain dependent on every paycheck, and that's why the gap often grows over time. Hashtag, "How to stop being broke." The good news is that being broke is not a permanent condition. It is often the result of habits. And habits can change. Start by tracking where your money actually goes. Reduce unnecessary spending. Build an emergency fund. Avoid bad debt. Learn about investing. Focus on acquiring assets instead of liabilities. Most importantly, stop trying to get rich quickly, because wealth is rarely built through one big decision. It is built through thousands of small decisions repeated consistently. If you're always broke, it doesn't necessarily mean you're lazy. It doesn't necessarily mean you're bad with money. It may simply mean nobody ever taught you how the game works. Because being broke is often not an income problem. It's a behavior problem, a mindset problem, a knowledge problem. The good news? All of those things can be changed. And the moment you begin understanding money differently, your financial future begins changing too. Because the path out of being broke isn't luck, it's awareness. And awareness is where wealth begins.